I'm here to introduce Maya, who I have just met in person today. So that's it. We have been remote mentoring, and I've really enjoyed working with her. She's very creative and has inspired me with her love to learn new things. You'll see in her game that she's going to show you how she brought together both computer science and art, which are both things that I really like too. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. So I'm Maya, and I'm a 7th grader at the girls' high school. So my amazing mentor is Jaelle, and she's from New Orleans. And there she works at a naval research lab where she researches AI for human-machine teams. And besides being a mentee, her hobbies include reading, baking, and traveling. So my project is called Liminal Forest, and it's an interactive adventure game, and you can view it in Chrome. So the goal is to escape the forest using the diary of a former explorer to guide you. And when I was thinking about projects, I wanted to learn everything that goes into making a game. And I also really wanted to try out a new coding language because in school we learned HTML and CSS, but I wanted to go beyond that. And I also wanted to tie in art into my projects because I love to draw, and I think coding and art are two very cool things. And so I learned a lot of new things, but the main thing that I learned was JavaScript, and mainly JavaScript functions like get element by ID. And then I also learned about the document object model and more about game design. And I also learned about GitHub, where it's a great place to store your code. And so what I've done so far is I started by learning JavaScript in Code Academy, which is a great program to learn everything about code. And then I started creating and coding backgrounds into the game. And then I also started making some items that are interactive. And I had a big slide presentation of a bunch of storyboards. Yeah, and so what I still need to work on is I still need to finish all the drawings and code more of the interactive elements into the game. And yeah, it is still a demo, and there's always more to make, but I am proud of what I've done so far. So I had a lot of highlights in my experience. One of the main ones was learning a whole new coding language, JavaScript, which is just so different than HTML or CSS or anything that I've done before. And it was really cool to be able to deep dive into a creative project of my own, just to go all out and have an amazing mentor that will teach me everything I need to learn. And so I learned a lot. I learned a lot about like image formatting and organization on the Chrome page because it's very easy for them to get disoriented. And also I learned how to translate my many ideas for the project into code because I had a lot of ideas going in, and it was difficult to kind of translate that into JavaScript. Yeah, and some challenges were starting completely from scratch. Just starting with a blank page was a little overwhelming. Yeah, I just started in Code Academy and then learned more JavaScript and then just kept building. And then another big challenge is remembering what everything does after coding, because there's a lot of different functions within JavaScript, and it can be kind of difficult to remember what everything does, especially when all your code is so compact. So I learned to organize my code and make notes for my code so I could remember what everything does. So here are a few of my many storyboards. I wanted to create an art style for the game that I could like make many times since there's many backgrounds. But I also wanted something that was unique to me and unique to to my game. And so yeah, the first one is a title page and sort of introduction. And then the last one is a background, and there's many backgrounds and they're each different. And I've already slightly mentioned it, but for some future work, I really want to finalize my storyboard and polish all of my artwork and code in more of the interactive elements and finish the storyline. So here's a quick demo. You start on the title page and then you can click play and it'll take you to the first background, which is the clearing. And then you have arrows on each side. And this is the grove. And then the other one is the river. So you can just kind of move through the different backgrounds. And then on each background, there's also different items that you can pick up. So on this one, it's a diary. And on this one, it's sort of an empty bottle. And then on the last one, it is mushrooms. And then you can view all of the things you've picked up in your inventory. And that's a little bit of my game.
Questions for Ryan?
Yeah.
Was it like, how did you put the art and like the code together? Like, how did you like, get it to show up like that?
Oh, well, I created the art in a digital program called Procreate, and then it was pretty easy to upload it into my code editor, VS Code, and then sort of I could just download it from Procreate and then get it to show up in the Chrome browser. Yeah, because I've worked with Procreate before and I knew that I wanted to incorporate it into my project.
I had a similar question. How do you get it there? It's very pretty.
Thank you.
And you, yes, had a question. I saw a few hands raised.